be something that we complete. And sometimes we try to tie that all together as one issue, and it's not. We have current issues with 501 that have to be resolved. The problem is we can't just keep fixing patches trying to get to a long-term solution.
Right.
We should look at the long-term solution. What's that road going to look like? And how are we going to get there? I-73 is going to bring a whole different set of problems with it. The idea behind I-73 is not so much 501, in my opinion. 501, if you take it International Drive, there's ways to relieve the pressure on 501. I don't think I-73 is going to do a whole lot of that. It's too far out. Right now, we got to fix 501 and look for solutions on that.
So 501, the primary focus before 73. What are your thoughts?
I don't think I-73 presents problems. I think it presents solutions. It presents solutions to job creation within this community. As you can see, SC Department of Commerce studies show that 96% of the jobs created in this state are created in association with projects that are located within 20 miles of an interstate access point. We have no interstate access point. The closest one is 85 miles away.
Yeah.
The first thing that manufacturing job creators ask when they come into the market, because they're trying to be courted here, is where's the interstate, and we don't have one to provide. As far as relieving the strain on 501, there definitely needs to be some work and improvements done on 501, but if you can create an interstate that hooks up to a $300 million project between 22 and 31, then you're going to take some of that commercial traffic off of 501, and you're going to relieve some of the strain, and you're going to make it better as a commuter road for the people who live in the community.
Right.
If you bring 501 to a capacity where you have interstate type travel along it, you're going to kill the businesses along 501, and you're just going to make it a bigger parking lot.
Sure.
So I think that both things need to be addressed. We need to cut wasteful spending in Columbia and use the money that we generate by doing that to address the infrastructure needs throughout the state, but particularly here in Horry County. I think there was a $1 billion revenue stream that was unanticipated last year, and they used it in Columbia on special projects. That's not right. We don't need more museums. We don't need extra festivals. What we need is to reinvest that money to either pay down debt or use it on infrastructure within the state, and that's what I'd fight to do if I'm sent to Columbia.
Okay. We're going to talk a little bit more about the issues for House District 56 and the candidates hoping to get your vote on Election Day come November. Stay with us. Welcome back, talking about House District 56. We don't have time to get to House District 105, but we do want you to know that there are a lot of petition candidates on 105 as well as 56, so don't just vote for the party when you hit the polls on November 6th. All right, so Mike Ryle and Dennis DiSabato, they each want your vote here. You guys have been thrown off the ballot. You've been back on the ballot. I know there's been some lawsuits as well, too. The latest lawsuit, I think, to be settled is that both of you are still allowed to be on the ballot. Too early, I think, to say what you plan to do with any lawsuits at this stage in the game?
Well, I really haven't had an opportunity to discuss it with my attorney, but I will state this, that I maintained from the beginning and always will maintain that the reason why I filed that lawsuit is to give certainty to the electorate that when they head to the ballot boxes on November 6th, that they can head there with certainty knowing that the candidates are legally certified to be there. Right. My reading of the case that came down from Columbia, the Anderson case, and then the Florence County Democrats case, was that I did not believe Mr. Ryle did file correctly. The court disagreed with me. Right. When the order is entered, we'll take a look at what happens there. But at this point, I plan on moving forward with my campaign in a positive manner.
Gotcha. Okay, and I'll ask both of you these questions too. Let's say after the election, you win the race. Mike Ryle, would you support or try to work with Dennis in trying to get District 56 better generated?
Yeah, once the race is over, it's over, and we need to move forward. And this is about unity for this community. We've got so many different areas that we're pulled together to make this work, and I think we can have a great community to live in. We got to work together on it regardless of the outcome.
Right, and I guess the same question for you then. Let's say that Mike Ryle would win. Would you support him as a candidate representing District 56?
I'll do whatever I can to help the community, as I have for the last 4 years, make that community a better place to live.
Whether you're a state representative or him?
Correct.
What do you think is maybe misunderstood still for the voters who are going to the polls saying, oh, wait a minute, that's right, there is this newly redrawn District 56. What do you really want them to know when they go to the polls about what you might bring to the table?
Well, as somebody who's raised a family in this community, lived here, had businesses throughout the community, I have a lot of background and experience that will add to what we do here and how we do it. 40 years business experience, raising a family for 20 years, owning your own businesses for several years in different areas. There's a lot there. And also being out in the community, talking to people, working with them, serving in the churches and in the schools. That's what we need more of. We need people who will pull this together and make it work and get rid of the partisanship. We've got a problem, as Dennis said. Columbia, government in general is too big. It has to shrink, and we have to get businesses back out here on the bottom line with the community. Let us grow the businesses. Let us create the jobs. It's not going to be done in Columbia. That's not the fix here. Right. It is local. Your thoughts that you hope the voters really resonate with before they would go to the polls?
Well, you know, as Mr. Rao said, you know, we do need to pull things together, and I think for the last 4 years, you know, I was instrumental in creating the Carolina Forest Civic Association. I was on the bylaws drafting committee. I drafted the mission statement. I ran that organization for a year after the first year of its inception, and we gave a voice to the community that it had not had before. And I would continue to do that if I'm elected to the State House, and it's something that I think is very important. It's a community that has been underserved and overpopulated for a long time, and we need to do more to bring recognition to that area. I liken the Carolina Forest community to the county in much the same way that I liken the county to Columbia. Yeah. We were a donor community, and we helped bring a voice to that community, and things were starting to get addressed after that. And I'd like to have the opportunity to do that for Horry County in the future.
Just about the last minute, there are a number of issues, of course, that we can't get to in time. Carolina Forest as its own city, as an idea, it's been tossed out there. What's your thought on that? Well, again, I don't want to keep adding layers to the bureaucracy. Sure. I think if we can work with the existing areas and make that work, and resolving water issues and other things are part of that. We want to work with what we have, not create more problems for everybody. Yeah. Your thoughts?
I agree. I'm against incorporation personally. Yeah. I have seen some studies where they said that the cost to the homeowner would be reduced if the city were to incorporate. I understand that if it were to incorporate, Carolina Forest would be the 6th largest city in the state. So there are a set of needs that need to be addressed within that community, but I'm not sure that adding more government is the solution to the problem. Sure. A little bit less government. I hear the traditional theme, Republicans, though, again, those voters aren't going to see a Republican by either of your names. They're going to see the independents, or they're going to not see anything since you're both petition candidates. It'll be P, I believe, actually. P for petition candidates. And again, House District 105, the same situation. In 10 seconds, a final message to the voters that you would have? I would just ask the voters to think about the two differences in the candidates they have here. I respect where Dennis is at in his life. He's a 34-year-old single attorney, and I know he's worked hard and tried to do a lot of things here, and I appreciate that. I think someone who's lived their life, raised a family, been in business all their life, can add a lot more to that table and understands a lot more of the problems we have. Dennis, in 10 seconds, quickly. Well, I'm not sure what being single has to do with this House race. I have come up from a very strong family. My parents have been married for 41 years, and I believe in that sacrament very much. So I'm going to continue to work hard for the community as I have for the last 4 years. Thank you very much. Thanks to both of you. Definitely get out there and vote.